12:04. I'm going to get started. We're up to 24 people, so that's good. Plus, we're going to record this, so if anybody is missing it, please feel free to watch the recording or call us with questions. So let's get started. I just want to thank everybody for the time today. I want to first introduce myself because there's a lot of people on the call that are not our partners, and there's some that are. So I'd like to welcome everybody. My name is Ikram Masibini. I'm the CEO here at MVP Network Consulting. I'm a father, I'm an author, I have my electrical engineering degree, but truly I'm an IT geek. I have multiple technical certification. I'm available for anybody for any questions when it comes to technology. Feel free to call me, and here's my email, ikram@mvpworks.com. Feel free to contact me at any time. So let's get started. The new normal. We looked at what we were going through with COVID-19 and realized that people had to work remotely. And not only did they have to work remotely, but most people had the capability to work remotely, but these were the managers, the executives, controller, but not the receptionist and not the person that answers the phone and not your entire team. So we had to do a shift, and the shift was for everybody to be able to work remotely. And the big piece that we found that communication-wise, phones were not that easy to transfer, right? We would have to transfer them to a cell phone, or unless you had a voice over IP solution, then you take that phone with you to your house, then you had to run cabling. We found that it was very cumbersome. So we went out there looking for the right solution to be able to provide our clients with something flexible. The idea behind it for us was to be able to take that laptop or load that app on your machine at home, and now your phone is working. You can transfer phone calls, you could receive phone calls, but phone aside, when we were talking to Avaya and they showed us the solution, Avaya added faxing to it, they added text messaging to it, they added video conferencing to it. I can't wait to show you the tool. So that's the new normal. The new normal is to be able to work from anywhere, at any place, at any time. Employees want to work from anywhere on any device. People want flexibility. Communication preferences have evolved to continue to change based upon the demand of users. Freedom of choice, location flexibility, choice of modality, in other words, messaging, chat, video, voice. User demand seamless experience. Users that want to work from anywhere want to be able to be as productive as they are in the office remotely. And that's the idea of bringing a unified communication solution to them. Workers find that navigating between apps, if you have multiple apps, more annoying than doing housework chores, believe it or not. Paying bills. People don't like a lot of tools. People want one tool that's capable to do all the things that they want to do through it. So basically what we're saying here is that the playbook has been rewritten. Companies must constantly adapt to changing employees and customers' expectations. So it's not just employees that they want to be able to work from anywhere, but clients want to be able to reach you at any time. Clients want you to be more flexible, and we need to build the network and the communication to make that more flexible. So employees want to work from anywhere on any device. The rules for customer engagements have changed. The playbook for communication is being rewritten. A next generation platform is required, and that's what we're bringing you, the Avaya Cloud Office. What we're saying here is that cloud solution enable constant innovation. In other words, we're talking about a phone system, but not a phone system that you would own. That's a phone system that's already built, and you're only paying for the usage of that phone system. But because it's in the cloud, it doesn't matter where you are. You use it the same way every single time, whether you're home or at the office or at Starbucks, for heaven's sakes. Anywhere that you may be, you could be driving and that phone will work. So that phone needed to be an app. That phone needed to be an application on your PC. That phone needed to be an actual physical phone that sits on your desk. That phone needed to do quite a bit. Constant innovation, faster deployment, scalability and reliability is key for a solution like this. And that's what we were looking for. So we looked at a lot of different solutions, honestly, and this is where we end up with the Avaya Cloud Office solution. We've been an Avaya partner for about 10 years now, but this is a new solution that's been around for a while, but a new solution for us. The advantage of Avaya, well, Avaya is 100 million plus unified communication lines. They've been in the top Gartner Magic Quadrant for the last 9 years as the top phone provider in the world. They only have 4.7 thousand partners, and we're one of them. But if you think of the entire world, that's not a lot of partners, because Avaya is very strict on who will become a partner, because they want to make sure we can deliver. And just to let you know that 90% of Fortune 100 companies use Avaya technology. So it's not a run-of-the-mill application. This is an enterprise level, world-class application that we're going to go through. So how can Avaya Cloud Office help? Think of it this way. It's working from home, from the office, working from home, or working on the go the same exact way. So from the office, you get an actual physical phone, or you have a soft phone on your machine. From home, you could add an app on your mobile device, or have that soft phone on your machine with, or actually take that phone with you if you wanted to. And it's one number across the board, across all different platforms, across all different devices. And that number, because it's unified communication, not only allows you to do phones and video conferencing, but also texting and faxing. So every single employee that you have will have the capability to fax, to send text messages, to do video conferencing, to share files. It is an enterprise cloud phone system with IVR and appearances of hunt groups and third-party integration with third-party phones. So you don't have to use an Avaya phone, because think about it, this is a soft solution. This is a UC as a service, unified communication as a service. It's flexible. It allows for file sharing, task management. We'll show you all the tools that come with this one application. It's not a lot of different things that are confusing. It's just a couple of different views for you to see all the communication in one area. And it integrates with Microsoft Teams fairly well. And the same exact app that you have on your PC looks exactly the same on your mobile device, so that your mobile device, whether you're connected to Wi-Fi or not, if somebody's calling your office phone, that mobile device will ring and you answer it like you would any other phone call. You can transfer it back to anybody else in your company through that mobile device. So and you can transfer calls between your phone, your PC, and your mobile device while you're on the phone. So I can be on my desk talking to somebody, and I know that I have to leave to go to an appointment once they allow us to get out of the house. What ends up happening here is I can click a button and that call would be transferred to my mobile device, and I can continue talking. I can transfer it back and forth. It's a great solution. The unified workspace comes with it. This is an app that allows you to share files, have Teams, have instant messages, and we'll get into that in more detail and show you the power of that. It integrates different apps, and the integration of apps is strong. So from whether you're using Box or Google or Salesforce.com or any Microsoft products or Slack, CRM applications, customer support applications, automation with it. It is a TAPI compliant phone system, so you can do click to dial and other things within your different applications. Obviously, we'll have to see that application and make sure that application is capable. It has a comprehensive Google integration, broad Microsoft support. It has APIs for everything, for voice, text, messaging, meeting, faxing. Or think about it, all your communication now down to one device. All your communication, including faxing and texting, is now in one application on your desktop. So when we talk about faxing, you'll be able to then send directly faxing from your desktop or mobile app or email. You attach a file from a computer or cloud like Dropbox or Box or Google Drive or OneDrive from Microsoft or SharePoint or whatever you're using, and you'll be able to fax through it. You'll be able to receive faxing on your the dedicated number that you get, your DID that you get. So it truly allows you to have one unified platform, unified communication, if you will, as a service. And that's the idea behind it, down to somebody signing a fax and sending it back to you. And the phones, these are one of the phones that come with them. There's 3 different ones that are Avaya based. The phones come pre-provisioned. So when they come from Avaya, because Avaya sends us the phone, if you decide to go with the solution, these phones come ready to go. You unbox them and you plug them in and they have your configuration on them already. So no on-site configuration, no craft menu with clunky configuration screens. In other words, we're going to decide what's going to be on the screens. They're going to come pre-configured that way. It's an ideal customer experience. It's easy to do. It's easy to use. So for your end user, won't have a lot of hiccups trying to learn a new tool on how am I going to use this. It's very simple and very easy to use. So it's important to see it in action. And the other big piece that I like about it is team messaging. So you're able to send texts between you and everybody internally, but also you can send, you can text somebody SMS, and somebody that's not part of your company, you put their mobile device number in there, and you're able to send them text, and they'll respond back to you, and that response will show up in your Avaya Cloud Office application. It has real-time file sharing, task management, deep integration with other business apps. You have to see it in action to understand what I'm saying. I'm excited about it because at the end of the day, it is a step above from any other solution we found. And one thing that was very impressive for me is that you don't have to use just Avaya phones. You could use, obviously Avaya's phones are preferred because they come pre-configured, but from Cisco phones to Yealink to Polycom phones, they're all supported by the solution, and they will all work with the Avaya phone system. So the Avaya telephony features available with the Avaya phones only. However, automated provisioning with the Avaya endpoints, and then we have approved third-party endpoints like Cisco and Polycom. So it's important to know that you have that flexibility. Another big strong piece that I like about it is the reporting from it. So the reporting is real-time reporting on global health of the system. How many calls per rep for the entire company? You gain valuable insight. You improve business performance because you know how your people are using your communication tools. The voice quality is great, and it tells you if the voice quality is not great and why. It really does quite a bit of work for us. And the same system is used on the mobile app or on your PC or on your Mac or on your or in a physical phone. So that's the idea of entire communication here. It's the unified communication all put together to allow us to have a world-class business communication solution, a phone solution that integrates, that you don't need to buy. It's basically you're paying for the usage of it, and it's a low cost of ownership, and it's fantastic. So like I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to have Shivani, Ken on the phone with us, and our next step here is to do a demo, and I'm going to hand it over to Shivani. I'm going to make Shivani the principal, and I want to allow her to show us her screen and do a demo for us. So without further ado, I will present to you guys Shivani. So hold on one second while I give her rights. Okay, Shivani, you're on. Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you, and can you see my screen?
I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So hi everyone, I'm Shivani. I am systems engineer that is dedicated to ACO over at Avaya. And as Ikram mentioned, this is definitely the time for a change. This is the new normal. And the way that we've been working actually rather at Avaya has also changed. And with ACO, I use it day to day. And with that being said, I've been seeing, how easy it is to adapt and how our customers are adapting to that as well. So over here, I've pulled over the ACO phone. This is one of the applications that comes with the offering. And, while you may have some users that want to use a physical phone, and that is completely fine, they will still have the functionality that they require through ACO on their physical phones. But with this ACO phone, this is for those users that are comfortable going into a soft phone environment. And then this also has other added benefits. So we had mentioned earlier that with this with this offering, your direct line not only works as a voice number where you can send and receive voicemails or make and take calls. It'll also work as a faxing number and a texting number. So now you remove the need to give out your personal numbers in order to text people inside and outside of your system. So in this ACO phone, you'll see several tabs. The first being messaging. You have access to all of your messages and the breakdown of your voice, fax, and text. And the neat thing is that you'll have the ability to see the transcription of the voicemails as well. So in any case, if you're working in a place where you don't have the ability to hear the voicemail, you can pull down and then read out the transcription. And with this, you can have these voicemails emailed to you as well. Faxing capabilities are rather simple as well, as some customers are trying to move away from faxing or trying to integrate faxing onto an e-faxing solution so that it's easier for them to conduct faxing. Over here, you'll see all of those sent and received faxes, and you can create a fax as easy as just putting in the name or number, dropping in that document, and sending that fax over. And this capability is also available on your mobile device. So now you're not bound to a device if you're on the go. You can pull up the phone on your mobile device and be able to leverage it to make and take calls, and also the same for faxing and texting capabilities. And then with here, you can see all of your text and then be able to compose the text as well. Any meetings that you may be having throughout the day can also be integrated into this ACO phone, which makes it an added enhancement into your everyday communication. So over here, I can just do one click to join some of the calls. Additionally, if there are any other instructions, I can view them from here as well. So now this removes the need for me to go into my Outlook or Google or Gmail and then join meetings from there or from a different platform. And similarly, if you needed to do an ad hoc audio, you would be able to start an ad hoc audio conference and with an invite via text or email. And this also is not limited to people in your system. You can start communicating to those outside of your system as well with this platform. And then with your contacts, again, without having to move between different applications, you can pull your Outlook or Google contacts into here along with your company or system contacts. And now I can converse with people, that I may be talking to, such as partners or vendors, and I don't have to go finding their contact in another place or trying to add them manually one at a time. And then with this, you have the HUD, which is short for heads-up display. This is a great functionality for those front desk personnel. Although it is available to everyone in the system, you'll be able to see and manage the presence of other users. It's one click to call or text these individuals as well. You can add up to 100 users in this area. And while it is docked, I can keep it undocked. It'll start working as a soft console that I can keep on the side. So if in the middle of a call or if I'm receiving a call, I have the ability to transfer over those calls over to these individuals by hovering over. Additionally, I can also change my outbound caller ID if I have certain numbers allocated to me. So if I want to show my presence in a different area, I can pick and choose the number that I need to choose and start making calls from here as well. And another application that is very key that I'm excited to show you right now is our Glyph application. And this is more of that team collaboration, but also moves forward by escalating it into video and audio conferences as well. So over here, you'll see that I have my direct messages, my group messages, and my team messages under this messages chat, sorry. And with this, if I'm having a conversation one-to-one with an individual, I can escalate it to point-to-point video or audio as well. And any conversation that I have over here, I can also share files with the user, either from my computer or from a third-party cloud provider. And once it's sent, I have it housed here on the left for me to take a look at. So if I were to look at one of them, if I need to start a conversation, yep, go ahead.
I'll add that, Shivani, that what you guys see here is, phone evolved. So not only are we having the conversation, can have video conference and we can text everybody, we could actually now have a chat, we could share files, we could do a video, and we could share files from different providers and have them in an area where we can always come back to it. So it makes it a lot easier for us to communicate. It brings the company closer together. It makes it a smaller environment, even though you may be spread out in everybody's homes. Sorry, Shivani, I just wanted to add.
So Nope, you make a great point. So, you know, with that, if you are having those day-to-day conversations with people and you have to go into, you know, you just think it's better for you to call those individuals or get on a quick video meeting, you have the capability of doing that from here. So over here, you'll see there's 32 participants in here. You can have it to be even greater than that, less than that. You can have team chats of 2 people, and I can escalate it to a video or audio call from here as well. And this just takes your conversations further, and it also makes it easier for you to find any links or files that have been shared. So if you're constantly sending emails with documents to the same group of individuals, you can share them here and carry on those conversations, assign tasks to those users as well, and then just start getting more productive with your day-to-day activities. And you know, on the basis of not having to switch between different applications, you have the ability to manage your voicemail, your text and faxing from this application as well. And the neat thing with this is I also have a keypad here. So if I need to dial out of this application, I can. So I don't have to use my physical phone. I don't have to go to the soft phone either. I can dial right out of this application. And then once I do that, the call would go through normally. And the integrations that we touched on, you know, we integrate with several applications, and then there's a whole host of them in our app gallery. We have over, you know, 2K developers that create such applications, and because it's an open API platform, any application that's not been created can also be, you know, integrated via the SDKs that are available. And while this is an application that is on my desktop, I do have the ability to open this application up on the browser. So if I needed to use this on my personal laptop, I have the ability to open the same application up on the browser on my personal laptop, and it does not interfere with any of the data on my personal laptop since everything is stored in the cloud. And as you can see, it's a similar look and feel. I have all of my direct messages, my groups and teams, and all of those telephony features over here. So if I wanted to make a call, I'd be able to make a call from the browser itself as well. And while I'm on the browser, I will touch on the admin portal. And the neat thing with the admin portal is that it is browser-based. So now your administrators are not, you know, they're not prone to just using a certain desktop application, or they're not only limited to a certain computer. They can now access this browser or this admin portal from any browser. And if they are a mobile device, they can pull up this admin portal on their mobile device. So if they're on the go and they need to make a change, whether it's the company hours, whether it's adding users to a group, they have the ability to make those changes right from their cell phone. So if we go into the admin portal, administrators have access to the users, the phone system, where they can manage the company-wide phone system. That includes the auto receptionist. In this case, you know, you can change any of the IVR menus that you may have. You can start managing your groups. So if you have any call queue groups, if you have call monitoring groups, those also can be functioned and created from the phone system tab over here. Additionally, each user in the system has the ability to manage their own individual extension. So with that, they can manage their call handling rules. If they want calls forwarded to their mobile device, they can change their voicemail greeting. They can access the fax or text that have been received from the admin portal as well if they don't want to take a look at their mobile device or their soft phone. With that being said, you know, with all the permissions that are available for the My Extension page, the admin does have the ability to limit the exposure that users have to the My Extension page if they don't want to have users constantly making changes to their extension.
So Shivani, if you don't mind, so basically what we're saying here is that you could reach all your information from any device. So if you're on your PC, you're able to go, and you don't have anything loaded on it, you're able to go to a browser and open it up, and you get your voicemail, you get your text, you get your faxes, wherever you may be, whichever device you may use, whether being an iPad, whether being an iPhone, whether being a Android device or a PC or actually a physical phone, you're able to get all that information. That's the whole idea of unified communication. So it gives you the flexibility, but it's the same info in any way that you look at it. So if you look at it from a mobile device or your PC and you delete one from one, it will be deleted everywhere else. It's all the same data working the same way. It's basically what Microsoft did with email and Exchange. Avaya is doing with unified communication with voice, text, and video. Sorry, go ahead.
So it's multiple ways. Yep. So it's multiple ways to do the same thing across any device of your choice. So you're not bound to any, work provision device. If you need to, you can quickly go down to a personal device and make changes. And, at the end, if you are deactivating user, nothing is on the personal device, so everything would be secured. And with all this data that's going through the cloud, everything is encrypted in transit and at rest. So there is that data security feature that comes with ACO. And from the users tab, this is where you can start managing your users as a whole. So from here, if you needed to, allocate any of the functionalities for the users, whether it's their screening and greeting music, whether you want to manage their call forwarding details, you can do so from here. And, you can get as granular as you want. If you want to make changes from the admin level all the way down to the user level, everything and anything can be customized.
Now you guys will have the control to do this, but obviously we're your partner. So if you do want us to make the changes for you, we'll do that for you as well. And so will Avaya.
Of course. If you needed to do, manage those roles, you can do so from customizing those roles. So one of the things I wanted to go into is the analytics portal that Ikram showed the slide for. So here you would have access to historical data as well as your close to real-time live reports. Historical data can go back to up to 6 months. And this is essentially key because if you need to take a look at any trends that may be occurring or how users are managing their calls, this is one of those factors that can come into place. So over here with performance report, it's a breakdown between queues, users, and calls. If we start with queues, you'll see that there are several different queues that I have under my system. And I can choose between the metrics that I want to display. So over here, out of the box, it will show me the inbound, answered, abandoned, and I can choose from over 30 different other KPIs, right? So over here, if I wanted to see the average speed of answer, I can do that for the queue itself. Additionally, if I click into the queue, it'll bring me into the users tab. Now I can see all of the data for the users in those in that queue itself. And once again, I can choose from the same set of metrics that I need to see for those individuals. And if at any time you need to save those reports, you can go ahead and save them, and then they bring it up right here. You don't have to go through the same motions every time to get to a certain report. And additionally, over here, if I needed to, I can also subscribe to a report. And this allows me to have this delivered to a set of individuals on the frequency that I set it to be. And the neat thing with this is that you also get that cradle to grave reporting. So if you currently, would like to see that cradle to grave reporting for those call queue functionalities, you have the ability to see, just how some of the calls were handled in the queues that are involved. And we talked about quality of service monitoring. So this can be used to diagnose your call quality issues, really essential when everyone's working from home and they have different types of home networks available to them. This can be used for that proactive monitoring to identify any potential issues based on the patterns that you may see, or it can be for reactive investigation. So if there's a user that's complaining about, poor call quality issues in the area, you can go ahead and see from here whether it's, it's their leg of the call or if it's another individual. It makes it very easy to manage and decipher where the problems are arising from. And from that, if you click into extensions, you can see each individual extension that you need to, and use the filters for the days. Any problematic calls can also be appeared here. And I can see that, right now, based on whether it's the desktop or the ISP that they're using, where that problem would be arising for if there are problematic calls. And then live reports is one of those other functionalities. It's really it's really neat with the analytics portal. It'll give you the past 24 hours worth of data, and with this data, it gives you close to real-time or real-time data of any queues that you may want to monitor. So over here, I have one for customer service, and if I need to, I can see how many calls are in that queue. I can see how many agents are available, how many of them are not available, and then once again, I can select from the different metrics that I need to have displayed for those agents. And the same goes for any of that queue detail as well. So right now it's showing me 0. I just haven't activated this queue in the past 24 hours, but as you can imagine, if there is something that's generating a lot of activity, it's really good to see when you need to add on more agents from a time-to-time perspective. And Ikram, I'm just giving a very high overview. So if there's something that you think you want me to go through additionally, I can go over that.
We do have a couple of questions. So since you said that, one came,
Mhm.
what are the storage limits for your text, faxes, and voicemails? This one from Mr. Ronsky. Is there a limit for storage of text, voicemails, and the faxes?
There is no limit for the text. The limit, if there is, it would be the 5,000 per messages per folder. So the messages would be inbound, outbound, sent, received. There's a 5,000 message cap, but it's per folder, so it's a fairly large um, cap on that. And then if we're talking about data retention, if you're doing recordings, there's a 90-day storage limitation on that. But that said, since everything's in the cloud, we can utilize an ACO archiver. So any information, whether it's recordings, faxes, text, call logs, they can also be archived into those automatically. So it removes the need to constantly download everything.
Okay, one other question, Shivani. Well, a couple other questions. This one from Ms. Mooney. My employees are concerned that these apps track their whereabouts. Does this happen?
If it tracks their whereabouts, this will not really be using your location other than from an E91 perspective. And that's mostly just for emergency calling as required by law to, if you're making an outbound call from a physical device in that case, but they wouldn't be really tracking device.
Got it. So to answer the question and tell me if I'm right or wrong here is that it does not track your location. It only knows where you are for if you need to call 911.
Yes, and it's only if you've registered a certain device, so it's not a dynamic address. It would be, static.
Okay. Thanks, Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
One other question: is the text messaging HIPAA compliant? I mean, I think it is compliant internally, but it's not when you send it out to a patient, for instance, because that patient is probably using AT&T or Verizon or Sprint, and you're sending text through those systems, and those systems are not HIPAA compliant. Rachel, just to let you know. Do you agree with that, Shivani, or am I wrong?
No, that's correct. So it depends on the end user as well.
Okay, can the calls be recorded using the system? Can you show us that? The answer is yes, but can you show us that?
So calls can definitely be recorded using the system. So I'll use this soft phone, but if you're working on a desk phone, you can also do on-demand call recording from there as well. So over here, if I'm going to call an account right here. So let me just make a call here. So 210. And over here, it'll give this user a call. And over here, you can see that I have the ability to do on-demand call recording. And if I press on the recording, it'll play an announcement. And it would just say that, the call is being recorded. And if you do not wish to participate, please hang up. And then once I stop, it would say that the call is no longer being recorded. And while we're on this, I talked about transferring and adding. Once you hover over, you have the ability to transfer or add individuals to a call. And I also have the ability to flip the call. So if I want to move away from this, I can flip it to my mobile device and pick up that call from my mobile device. So yes, you do have the ability to record calls on the fly or automatically as well if it's put into the system. And to access those recordings would be from the call log. You can go into your recordings and access that from here or from the admin portal as well.
So yeah, I mean, can you go to the active call? I mean, you guys can see with that active call the kind of information and flexibility you have with the system. I mean, you could easily transfer it to your mobile device, pick it up and walk out the door. You could receive faxes, you could send them text. So another question came in, is this HIPAA compliant? Well, internally to the system, yes, nothing goes outside. So within your employees, yes, but anything outside the system, we can't control that. So that it will make it not HIPAA compliant. Obviously, if you're sending text to a patient and that gets received on their mobile device, that is not HIPAA compliant.
Yes,
okay, thanks.
But we are HIPAA compliant.
Yes, you are HIPAA compliant, correct? Can you want to explain that a little bit, Shivani, or more than I did?
Yes, so Oh, as you mentioned, we are HIPAA compliant. We're also SOC 2, SOC 3 compliant, and HIPAA compliant as well. That being said, internally we have those. We can have BAs sent out as well for those. And then at the end, you know, based on the communication, how it's being sent outside of the system, it also varies. So there's a certain type of graph that we have on the system, and then that, you know, we would lose that graph once that communication goes outside to
Yes.
outside of the network, essentially.
Sounds good. So it's HIPAA compliant internally, but just not externally. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Shivani. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to keep asking, and Shivani can show us this. But meanwhile, I'm gonna change and I'm gonna introduce Ken now. Ken, I hope you can hear me. And I'm gonna give you rights. Actually, I'm not gonna give you rights. I'm gonna take the rights back and I'm gonna go back to our presentation.
Great.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen. And now, here we are. So
Great.
Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining. It's a great turnout and great job, Shivani, as well as Ikram, great job. So a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about today is this Avaya Cloud Office by RingCentral. If you're familiar with RingCentral, then you'll be familiar with the Avaya Cloud Office solution. It is based upon the RingCentral platform. Where we differentiate ourselves is that we are building a whole services team dedicated to supporting Avaya Cloud Office customers, from implementation to enablement, onboarding, and utilization. So there'll be a dedicated person, a customer success manager, that is assigned to your account, and they will be with you for the life of your contract. This is above and beyond MVP's involvement, as well as, you know, myself or Shivani. This is after the sale is made, and we want to make sure through that customer success manager that they continue to reach out to you, either proactively or reactively, to make sure that everything that you're using on the system, your experience is a positive one, and they're there to answer questions for you as well. In addition, we have a whole support organization. You can reach out to Avaya support via email, through our service portal, as well as through opening up a ticket. And also calling into an 800 number. So you'll have access to Avaya that way as well.
I'll add that you also have access to us, because most of our clients, obviously, we do IT for. So if you have any issues, we will handle that, do vendor management, and open up the ticket for Avaya on your behalf, and making sure whatever issues or changes, moves, adds, changes are done for you.
Great. In addition to that, as comparison to RingCentral, a customer success manager doesn't get assigned to account until you've got at least 200, until you're at least 250 users. So much larger account. We start as small as 2. So every customer, actually I should say 1, every customer is going to have a customer success manager that's assigned to them. Also, the nice thing about Avaya is the fact that we've got a long history when it comes to telephony. We understand the trip, the road that you've taken to where you are today, the fact that you're maybe on an on-premise solution today where you've got a box or a control unit or a server in your equipment room. That stuff does disappear when you move to the cloud. But the nice thing is Avaya, as well as MVP, understand that road that you've traveled to get to where you are today. And there's a lot to be said about having that conversation about what you're used to from a feature functionality perspective and how that would relate to cloud. So that experience that we bring is very helpful. It's also helpful when you're doing the implementation, because we understand how you've set up your phones and how you want them to work. So it's much quicker time to complete the implementation. We also will have, and we don't yet, but it will be this summer, we have a migration tool that for those of you that have an Avaya phone system today, we can download your programming, your per extension, and use that to program the Avaya Cloud Office solution. So again, much quicker time to get you up and running. As well as we have a dedicated porting team. So as you port your numbers over from your existing system into the Avaya Cloud Office solution, that person's going to do that specifically. That's all they do. So there'll be someone doing the porting for you and then someone doing the programming for you. In regards to the different types of users that you have, there's a standard, a premium, and an ultimate. I don't mention essentials because it's very rarely used. And if you're more than 20 users, it can't be proposed either. These are just the standard components. There's over a list of, I don't know, over 125 features that will come with each user license. But know that you have unlimited calling within the US and Canada for all of your seats. Unlimited audio meetings, again, for standard, premium, and ultimate. Also, unlimited video conferencing. And there is one slight change where it says 4 people in the standard. We actually moved that to 100. So you'll actually have 100 people per video meeting if you wanted, as well as toll-free minutes of 1,000 for the entire system. And there's also bundles that you can use to add more toll-free minutes so that you don't have to pay any overage. And then Shivani did show you the voicemail to text feature so that you can actually get your voicemail without having to actually dial. And then we've also incorporated eFax so that every user has the ability to make and receive faxes. Pricing is based upon the number of endpoints you would have. 2 to 99 is one price range, 100 to 999 is another, and over 1,000 is another. And your pricing can vary versus whether you pay monthly or yearly. You would actually save $3 per seat if you go yearly billing. So if you do a 36-month term and you pay 3 yearly payments, 1 per year, you would save $3 per month. And then also the longer of your term, the lower the price would be as well. So those are your users. Some of the questions that come up with user types, can I mix and match user types? You would choose between the standard, premium, or ultimate. There are some other seats that you can use for common phones, like a conference room or a cafeteria phone or a lobby phone. That would be a separate, not necessarily a separate user, but a separate license. A little discounted pricing because of the fact that it doesn't have voicemail assigned to it. It's more just for dial tone. Okay. We've got some promotions going on right now through June 30th. So we've got a little more over a month. We are offering our J130 phone, up to 100 of them for free, as long as you go with a 3-year agreement. It's the same form factor as our J169 and 179. The difference is versus instead of an 8-button set, it's a 4-button set. So if you do like to program additional buttons for speed dials or call, park, and page, you would look at the J169 or the 179, but the J139 is fully functional. Speakerphone, conference transfer, can do all those things, a color display. It just has less buttons, but keep that in mind because that is a very big savings.
And that's the phone right there in the picture, by the way. And that's the phone we use. They're a great phone. Very little difference between the larger button phones and this one. So that's a great deal. We do have one question before I move on.
Sure.
Do you need to purchase an Avaya partner subscription to communicate, receive upgrades for the system? I guess, yes, you do need to purchase an Avaya partner subscription. If you have an IP office now, that's the idea of giving you the free phones, is that it's an easier path, and an Avaya will be able to take your configuration off the IP office and configure that new phone system with it. Heather, I hope that answered your questions. If not, let me know.
I'll actually, if you don't mind, Ikram, I'll add to that because I think I understood that maybe a little differently.
Sure.
I understood as, do you need a separate maybe maintenance contract, or is there any other support charges? So just understand that the seat price is the seat price. All support is included in that seat price. All upgrades are included in that seat price. The beautiful thing about cloud is that it's all upgraded in the cloud. So as those features become available, you have access to those features as well. So I just answered a little differently, Ikram, because there's questions that come up about that also.
I understand that. I appreciate that. Okay. Thanks, Ken. Well, because of this, we're wrapping up here. It's almost 1 o'clock. I want to thank everybody, but we did put something together here because we have Ken and Shivani, and they were nice enough to volunteer some of their time. But what we want to do, if you're interested in this solution, you want to see a more detailed demo, let us know. We'll be able to do that for you. And we will also analyze your phone bill and let you know where you stand and how much your new pricing would be versus the old pricing, because obviously you will have savings from what you're paying now. A lot of times we're able to save dollars and get people much better, much more flexible phone system than the one they have, and they save money monthly, and there isn't that much up front. So if you're interested to see what that looks like, this is what you could do. Be on the lookout from an email from Jamie Stewart. Respond with a copy of your most recent phone bill, or have it ready when we talk from the last 2 months. That would be great. And Jamie will then schedule the consultation meeting with you, and we'll review it, and then we'll then be able to schedule a demo and show you the detail of it. And we'll really consult and take a look at how you're using your system and how this system will be a little different and more capable. We have 8 minutes left, so I will unmute everybody. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to say them. You will all be unmuted shortly. I hope you enjoyed this demo. Thank you, Shivani, for the time, and Ken for taking the time today to coming in and to show us the system. We're very happy with it internally, and we're looking forward to showing our clients what new technologies and voice over IP elevated, leveled up in the cloud, a lot more than just a phone. It is phone, text, SMS, video conferencing, sharing files, all in one application. We were impressed with it, and it works great. So I hope you guys take advantage of this offer. I don't see any additional questions, but we'll stay on till 1.
Thank you for having us. We look forward to, working with everyone and showing this in a more in-depth pattern.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, people are dropping off. We're down to 20 now from, oh, there's Molly, I'll give you a call to discuss. I appreciate your question. Okay. Well, since everybody's coming off, I want to thank you for your time one last time. we're wrapping up. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. Expect an email from Jamie, and please be safe out there as Western New York reopens. Most importantly, the way I look at it is we learned something. Wash your hands, improve your immune system, wear a mask, take care of yourself, your family, your company, work remotely, work from anywhere, be flexible. But most importantly, we're hoping to come back to some kind of a new normal. The normal won't be the same. It will be a little different, a little more distant. But with tools like this, we can bring it a lot closer. So I want to thank everybody for your time, and have a great rest of the day and a great week. Great Memorial Day, everybody. Enjoy this beautiful weather we have up here in Western New York, today at least.
Thank you, Ikram.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, Shivani.
Thank you.